This is the brand new CB650R Neo Sports Café with e-clutch technology, and the bike doesn't stall. And in this video, you'll learn everything about it. The difference between this e-clutch technology and dual clutch transmission, clear up all your doubts, and hear my first impressions riding it. If you're new here, I'm Amanda Pagliari, and this is the most charming motorcycle channel in Brazil, which also brings you the best releases. So go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. I'm here in Dayatuba, in the countryside of São Paulo, at Honda's invitation to test their newest release. It was already presented at the Interlagos Festival. It had already been announced that it would arrive in Brazil now in 2025, and now, in the month of July, it arrives at dealerships. But before I explain to you what this e-clutch technology is, I'm going to tell you what has changed from the previous version to this new 2025 version. The design has been improved, but without losing the Neo Sports Café identity. The side fairing has been redesigned, even allowing better airflow through the deflectors to cool the engine. In addition, the headlight got a new fairing here on the outside. The engine remains the same, 4 cylinders with 649 cubic centimeters. However, it lost power because of the promote. Now it's 86.7 horsepower at 12,000 revolutions per minute and 5.8 kgfm at 9,500 revs. The rev range also changed. Additionally, the map changed. There was also a change in the chassis. The rear subframe is 434 grams lighter. And to adapt to the new thin film transistor panel and also the e-clutch technology, we have new buttons on the left side, so the grips have been redesigned. And the panel is one of the main changes. It's the same as the 500 series, which is a super complete colored thin film transistor screen. It features a speedometer, tachometer, gear indicator, 3 display modes for the panel and onboard computer, and it doesn't have connectivity. Besides that, you can turn off the e-clutch function directly on the panel and also set the sensitivity level of the gear pedal. Another change we had was in the weight. It gained 5.2 kilos compared to the previous version. There was no change in the front suspension, so it's still inverted with the Showa separate function fork, big piston system, which separates the hydraulic and mechanical functions, okay? No adjustment. Regarding the brakes, there were no changes. We still have dual discs at the front, single at the rear, independent ABS system, 2 channels. We also didn't have any changes to the wheels, and the engine still features the slipper and assist clutch technology. Well, guys, I think the big news about this motorcycle is the e-clutch technology. And why did Honda bring this technology? To make life easier not only for beginners, but also for experienced riders who need one less thing to worry about. Let's think specifically about beginners, those people who are moving up from a 250 or a 300 and want to enter the world of big bikes, want a 4-cylinder, but don't have much experience. The bike is heavier, they don't have much skill, they're afraid the bike will stall at the traffic light. Well, with this bike, that won't happen. So it's much more practical, one less thing for you to worry about. And even for more experienced people, this can be a solution too. And like I said, you can turn it off if you want. And to explain how this e-clutch technology works, I brought Luis Gustavo here to explain it to us. Thank you for participating. Technology patented by Honda, staying ahead, right? Congratulations. Tell us how this technology works. Well,
Amanda, thank you for being here and also for your followers who keep up with you on your channels. So here's the thing, right? This e-clutch technology is designed to make riding the motorcycle easier, especially in urban environments. So we have a motorcycle, a 4-cylinder bike, a bigger motorcycle with higher performance as well. And this technology comes to make it easier to use. Why? The rider doesn't need to worry about using the clutch, so the gear shifting works as usual, right? You can upshift and downshift without needing to use the lever, and most importantly, you can do this even at low speeds. And how does this technology work, right? That's the coolest part. We have an electronic system that operates the whole mechanism through two electric motors that control the clutch. So it reads all the sensors, right? For example, the speed of the motorcycle, the speed of the wheels. So it reads all this data and has a very fast communication speed, which makes the clutch respond the moment you touch the gear pedal. It has a sensor that activates the clutch, so it's a technology that gives you convenience and ease for urban use and sportiness for riding at higher speeds or higher RPMs, right? Some people even mistakenly refer to the sensor as a quick shifter, but it's not, because the quick shifter is always used at high speed, at high revolutions per minute, and when you shift gears, it's a bit rougher, more abrupt. And here, no smoothness prevails in the technology. So a technology...
Also, with a quick shifter, if you're, accelerating, you can't downshift, you can't do that rev matching. Ideally, you should be downshifting by going down a gear or upshifting. Here, any revolutions per minute, you use the technology. And now, let me ask a question, because I think a lot of people will get confused. This has nothing to do with the dual clutch transmission, right? Isn't that right?
Nothing to do with it. Dual clutch transmission technology is something we already have on our motorcycles. It's a technology that has gone through a period of evolution. In dual clutch transmission, we have two clutches, and the clutch has an electro-hydraulic actuation which uses the engine's oil pressure, and you have automatic gear shifts, but with the E-clutch, that's not the case. The gears are completely mechanical, so for example, if you're riding the motorcycle in the city, you stop at a traffic light in third or fourth gear, there will be an indicator on the dashboard telling you to downshift.
It won't downshift for you, so for those who were complaining, the bike does everything, I also want to have control. Here, you end up having a bit more control. Let me ask a question about maintenance. Can this system be more expensive for the public or less, since here you won't be squeezing the clutch lever all the time? We are always using it, wearing it out, damaging it. Will this new system, launched last year, be more expensive or cheaper? Are there any studies yet, given its recency?
That's right. This technology was launched in 2024, in the 2024 lineup. Then we have the following. The tendency is for it to require less maintenance. Why? He will use the clutch correctly. Combining, yes, of course, with the gear selection you're making. So he will use the clutch at the right moment and in the right way. In normal use, what can sometimes happen? You use the clutch a bit more, and what happens is, we call it letting the clutch slip, burning the clutch, and then the wear increases. In this case, no, it won't allow that. So, it will mainly make it easier to reduce maintenance and maintenance costs.
Cool, now the last little question. I don't know if he can say or if he even knows, right? Is there any forecast for it to come to other models?
This technology started in a single model, the VFR 1200F, and advanced to other models, like the X Indivi, which only uses dual clutch transmission. As models evolved over the years, they incorporated this technology. I believe it will be the same here, with technology getting updates over time, just like a cell phone. It keeps getting updates, improving speed and connectivity, and it's the same here with the bikes and this technology. I believe that in the future we may have models with this technology. And
do you already have some data from Europe about the acceptance? How was it? Did the markets like it?
Yes. We have some feedback, mainly from the European press, who have already seen the model, and also from users, where the technology added a lot. And even for the more nostalgic ones, oh, but I won't use the clutch. It has the possibility to use the clutch, but for urban riders, it has eliminated the use of the clutch. It's completely electronic now with individual activation, so the rider doesn't have to worry about using the clutch in urban traffic. Well,
I'm intrigued. Shall we give it a try?
Let's speed up. Thanks, Amanda.
Wow! Wow, it gets loose. Look, the clutch gets really loose here. It's kind of deactivated. Wow! That's awesome! Wow! I found it really smooth. Even here, the gear shifting. And it's really fast, it doesn't jerk. It's a little strange. It's a little strange without a clutch. You don't have that option to downshift. Burning that clutch when I go to downshift. Wow, but it's really easy. One thing I notice, when the bike is going really slow, it tells you to downshift. And I talked to the people at Honda. They told me that ideally, when it tells you to shift, you should shift gears, right? So you don't burn the clutch. So it's an evolution, guys. Honestly, I think it's the kind of technology that comes to help, for sure. It will bring benefits. And the newcomers will benefit from it. Oh, Amanda, I don't like it. I want it old school. So I'll switch it here for you so you can see how the gear works. Let me do it here, look. Let me switch it here. I wouldn't even need to press the clutch, right? Look at the habit. I come here. Now I'm going to put it in manual mode. Then I come here. I think it's here. Settings. Look, the lever already. It's going to make a little noise right away. Okay, now let's go. So, to get out, is it all this way? It's just a little tap. Oh, okay. All right, now let's go. If you're old school, if you like it or are used to it, there's no problem if the bike stalls. Don't want convenience? You can have a regular bike here with the clutch as usual. So I think this versatility is what will add value to the bike. Remembering that only Honda has this technology for now. So I thought it was really cool. Here, for example, I'm slipping the clutch a little to control the bike with the E-clutch. I don't have this habit, I don't have this feature, and I lost it here. Too much going on. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, but it doesn't go far. There's not much of this feature for those who are used to that habit of slipping the clutch a bit to get going. Where do you increase here? Increase is shifting up. Do you want it harder or smoother? I think it's smoother. Yeah, I think it's worth it. And for downshifting, it's less smooth too. Is it less smooth? Yeah, okay. And then everything comes out here. You can tell, right? Now I set it up to shift. The kick point, right? Wow, really smooth. So you can choose, oh, I want it stiffer. No, that's for people wearing boots. Just imagine, with sports boots, you lose a bit of sensitivity, right? You might touch it by accident. Ideally, you should. Only put it on the hard setting, for example, when you really want to. My real and honest opinion for you is that I really liked it. I'm in favor of new technologies unlike the dual clutch transmission or the automatic or the automated ones from other brands. In fact, here you stay in control and you have the advantage of not stalling. I even think it's a bit safer than the dual clutch transmission because, in a way, many times the dual clutch transmission can shift or interpret your riding and shift when you wouldn't want it to. Here, you have the advantage that the bike won't stall, which is a concern for many riders. It's not exactly fear, but more like worry about the bike stalling and getting embarrassed. So I think it has the advantage of not stalling, and you stay in control at all times. And on top of that, if you want to turn it off, you can use it like a normal bike, just pretend nothing happened. In practice, how can I explain this to you? Taking into consideration, of course, the technical explanation that Louise gave, but being very lay and simple, it's kind of like a quick shifter, where you make the gear changes, but it's an evolution of the quick shifter, because you can upshift and downshift at any time, right? Regardless of the revolutions per minute range, you can start at low revs, and on top of that, the bike doesn't stall. So I think it's an evolution. I see this system in other brands, in other bikes, because for sure, especially beginners or people who want convenience, just like what happened with cars, where everyone switched from manual to automatic, I think this technology comes to help, and it's even less intrusive than a dual clutch transmission, but it still has the advantage that the bike doesn't stall. I think I was clear, right? In my opinion, it's a really good thing Honda opened up this whole ocean so it doesn't have a direct competitor. Directly, in the mid-displacement four-cylinder category, it competes with the Trident and also with the twin-cylinder bikes. There's Suzuki, there's the MT-07, so you do have competitors, right? However, only Honda has the technology and clutch. And it's available in 3 colors with a suggested retail price starting at 58,270 Rs. So what did you think of the price? Write it down here below. We know that motorcycles are expensive, and the previous version was already expensive, and this one was going to follow the trend. But anyway, regarding the difference, write what you thought. Of course, there's the technology, the change in the dashboard and other things, so there's all this added value, but write down here what you thought of the price. And that was the first impressions launch video. Of course, there will be the review video, completing your MotoPlay standard with the positive and negative points. For instance, it lacked a USB port, USB-C, or connectivity common in Europe. That ends up being a negative point, which I'll go into detail about in the review video, completing your MotoPlay standard. So, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. As soon as I get this bike, test it, and tell you about fuel consumption and insurance cost. You'll be the first to know. You need to have the notification bell turned on, so YouTube can notify you. And if you want to be part of the MotoPlay family and help even more, just become a member. Get exclusive benefits, early access to videos, exclusive videos, and Mandinya's calendar with exclusive photos. There's also plenty of great content and monthly helmet giveaways, jacket, and much more information. To become a member, check the link here in the caption. So that's it. If you like the video, leave a like, share it with your friends who need to know about this new technology. Up here, I left a really cool video for you, and down here, I left another one. I'm sure you'll like them. See you next time. Another kiss.